I wish I would have known these things when I started my businesses 10 years ago. And if I would have, it would have made this whole process so much better. But these are huge mistakes that I made that, looking back, I definitely wish I would not have. But now you don't have to make these mistakes, because I'm gonna tell you about them. So I started this 10 years ago when I got fired from my 9-to-5 job after I had my first baby. And I had already started a mom blog, so I thought, oh, this is the time to go all in on this, because I had already known that commuting 2 hours every day to work and being away from a baby after having been up all night because that baby did not sleep wasn't working for me. And so I started the mom blog, ended up getting fired, and just at that point said, you know what, I have to make this work. So within a couple of months, I had started generating thousands of page views every month. I was building an email list, and I was even selling my own digital products. Some of my entrepreneur friends that asked me if I could help them. And so at that point, I started helping business owners behind the scenes grow and do the same thing for their businesses. And I realized that having the mom blog was cool, but what I really loved was the marketing. And so I started freelancing as a marketer. I did everything from running Facebook and Instagram ads to writing blog posts. What didn't I do, honestly? Email marketing, sales funnels, social media management, content creation, while also having 3 additional children in the process. Well, I didn't really have anyone showing me what to do. I had maybe taken some courses, followed some people online, listened to some podcasts, but I was like on my own with it. There were definitely some things that I would do differently now. The first one is that when I started, I was just working hourly. Like, I picked an hourly rate, and then I would charge people for the amount of time worked. The problem with this was that I was terrible at keeping track of my time. And so inevitably I would forget to track my time, and then I'd just have to guess. And because I didn't want to screw over my clients, I would end up lowballing myself and not even getting paid for all of my hours. So looking back now, what I wish I would have done was just have retainer packages, so that like they would pay me X amount of money for the month and then be able to have me do whatever they needed for that month. And not only would this have made it easier for me, but I would have been able to scale my business way faster. It's way harder to plan when you're doing hourly like that, because you don't know exactly how much you're gonna make every month. And I also didn't really have like a set plan on how I was going to make the money that I wanted to make. If I were doing this all over now, I would set my goal at $10,000 a month. That would put you at like a 6-figure business. And I would have figured out how I could charge $2,500 per client on a recurring basis. I would have figured out a package that would let me charge that, because then if you get 4 clients on a recurring contract where they're each paying you $2,500 a month, you only need 4 clients to be at $10,000 a month, right? At the time, what I was doing was just kind of taking whatever clients I could and just kind of creating these like custom packages for them instead of having something more standardized again, which makes it harder to scale and harder to keep track of your finances. When you're first starting, you know, there's this like inclination to just take whatever work you can because you need the money, you want the money. But sometimes being pickier about what clients you take on and keeping those rates high is something that's going to actually benefit you way more in the long run. And then once you do that, then you can start thinking about things like passive income, courses, digital products, affiliate marketing, all of those other things to bring in extra income streams, which I 100% think that you should do. And this is another thing that I wish I would have done, which was have long-term consistent passive income. I had so many times, look, I'm so ADHD. I had so many times where I had ideas for digital products. I sold digital products. I had courses. I had group programs. I had all of these different ways that I was making money that didn't require me to do the one-on-one work. But I always got distracted with something else. It's like I was always on to the next project. I was on to the next funnel I wanted to build, and I didn't stick with anything. which again, ADHD. I wish I would have had the fortitude to at least keep one thing going, to say, okay, well, I don't have to talk about the same thing forever, but what is one product I can create that kind of reaches across all the different niches and all the different things that I like to talk about on social media that I can promote, you know? The best thing that I did do, which when I was really focusing in on my mom blog, one of the things I really focused on was SEO, or search engine optimization, where I was getting my content showing up on Google, ranking on Google, and also on Pinterest. And what's beautiful about this is like, I still have pins that get traffic after like years and years and years. And that actually kept some affiliate income coming in every single month from those pins and those blog posts that I focused on SEO. So if I had this to do over again, I would not have even like focused on TikTok really, or Instagram, until I had like fully fleshed out plan that was very SEO driven. And those platforms would be Google, Pinterest, YouTube. TikTok is becoming SEO driven, and I do have TikToks that still perform months later because of SEO. But if I would have just like said, okay, I'm going to do YouTube 10 years ago and stuck with that for 10 years, I mean, where would I be now? It kind of leads me into like another mistake that I've made that a lot of people make, is I felt like I had to be everywhere and doing everything. Like I needed to be on all the platforms, repurposing my content everywhere, but that leads you to getting burnt out and not accomplishing much. So even for my clients, some of my clients, we do focus on like omni-channel marketing, but usually there's like a hero platform that we focus on. And that's really where we're like putting 90% of our efforts. And sure, we might go post our reels on TikTok as well, but you know, Instagram is the main focus. And I wish I would have like stuck with one platform and really gotten the most out of it, instead of thinking that I had to do everything. I feel like I could blame everything on my ADHD. And if you have ADHD, I know you can relate, because this consistency piece is really what pops up over and over again. Consistency of staying on the same platform, consistency of like keeping the same offering going. But one thing that like I think I could have made more consistent over this time without having to have been focused on it consistently would be to have a better back end structure. What is the standard operating procedure? What's the checklist? What's the workflow for posting a YouTube video? What are all the steps that I go through? Same thing with like editing a client's video and posting it and scheduling and coming up with my strategies. All of these things just live in here, instead of like I have these SOPs that I can just hand this off to them and they'll have explicit instructions on how to take care of every single piece that needs to be taken care of. Obviously, I'm still gonna need to like train people and be there, but when you have it all kind of written into a manual, it makes it so much easier, and not just for them, but for yourself, because sometimes there'll be tasks that I haven't done in like a month or two, and it takes a minute to like get back into that groove of all the things that have to be done. And if I had those documents, those SOPs, those standard operating procedures, I could just like pop it open and be like, oh yeah, these are all the things I gotta do, checklist, quick, bang, bam it out. Bang it out, instead of feeling like, oh God, I have to do all this and I can't even remember. I have to think through it. It's like, it's so much more mental strain to have to like go into this hard drive instead of the hard drive on your computer. And the final thing that I really wish I would have done, I wish I would have raised prices a lot more and a lot more often, for a few reasons. Number one, I was charging rock bottom rates for a really, really long time. And I could dive into a whole bunch of reasons for that. Like, you know, the normal, like not feeling good enough, not feeling like my work was good enough, even after doing it for years, being afraid of losing clients, feeling the pressure then to deliver more. Like there's all these different things that can come up when you're thinking about raising prices, but ultimately it's not even good for your clients for you to not raise prices, because if you are overworked, overwhelmed, not getting paid properly, you're not even going to produce as well as you could have, when maybe you can scale back and not have as many clients but charge more. Listen, I have a free brand guide that can help you with a lot of the like introductory pieces of making sure that you have a brand Bible, and that you have a monetization plan, and you know who your ideal client is. All of these things that even if you kind of know, you need to have it written down so you can revisit it. You need to have it written down so if you hire a social media manager, you can pass it off to them, or you hire a VA, you can pass it off to them and they know exactly what your brand is. Like, go grab that. It's totally for free. And also, if you need an agency to take over, then I'm happy to do that too. If you need someone to just take over the work, then you can also book a call for me. That's at my link. All right. Cheers, besties.